billion in expansions for our plants operating on the island, representing more than 4,000 committed new jobs in this industry and new construction jobs. And that is a level of investment that we had not seen in decades. Particularly, Eli Lilly investing $1.2 billion to renovate its Carolina facility, Amgen investing $650 million to renovate and expand its Juncos facility. So we're talking about big dollar investments in Puerto Rico as part of the American reshoring strategy for these companies. Let me give you some pointers that you can use as to the importance of Puerto Rico in the pharmaceutical supply chain. If we go to the next slide, we can see how Puerto Rico is America's medicine cabinet. Made in Puerto Rico, as I said, is made in the USA. First tidbit, important. We have over 120 FDA-approved pharmaceutical and medical device sites on the island. Puerto Rico, number two. Puerto Rico produces 5 of the world's top 20 blockbuster most important drugs. Let's repeat that. Puerto Rico produces 5 of the world's top 20 most important drugs. Number 3, I'm not sure if most of you knew this, but Puerto Rico manufactures most of Tylenol for the world. Puerto Rico manufactures more than 90% of America's pacemakers. Puerto Rico exports more than $54 billion in annual pharmaceutical exports, always competing for the number 1 or number 2 spot against the other 50 states. We're always competing against New Jersey or North Carolina or some of the states that have also a big pharmaceutical manufacturing component. But Puerto Rico is the number 1 or number 2, depending on the year, pharmaceutical exporter in the United States. And we should be terribly proud about that. And lastly, over 80% of critical pharmaceutical products used by the Department of Defense and the VA are manufactured in Puerto Rico. How is this possible? In the next slide, I show you a few things to have top of mind. We have a robust university pipeline. We have more than 90,000 direct and indirect jobs in the life sciences ecosystem. So how is it possible to have all these great companies operating in Puerto Rico? It's because we have the workforce. We have deep GMP and FDA compliance expertise, meaning we understand how to work with the federal regulatory agencies to make sure that we can fast track the approval of medicines and medical devices through the federal agencies. And this is based on decades of institutional manufacturing knowledge. The next slide will show you how this is possible. We have 80+ institutions of post-secondary learning, including universities, colleges, community colleges, and technical institutes. This is a map of Puerto Rico. And you will see that spread throughout the island, we have institutions preparing the workforce of the future. So these institutions are the ones that power the possibility of these companies manufacturing American-made products in Puerto Rico. Moving from life sciences to aerospace, now I want to talk about something that is very important for you to know and to repeat. And in the next slide, you'll see what I'm talking about, which is aerospace. Almost every plane, whether private or military, in the world has a part or a system that has been manufactured in Puerto Rico. We have over 30+ aerospace and defense companies operating on the island. The sector grew from 700 workers to over 6,000 workers in the last decade. More than $600 million in annual revenue in these aerospace companies. And we have high precision manufacturing and repair operations with companies like Lufthansa, engineering services. And I'm very proud to say that last week the governor announced another company that was choosing Puerto Rico for its American expansion, Collins Aerospace, which announced more than 500 new jobs in Santa Isabel and Aguadilla, because they say that we have the best engineers in the United States. So when they think about where they want to expand their engineering and design capabilities, they chose Puerto Rico. The components, as I mentioned, are used in many plants throughout the United States. What we manufacture in Puerto Rico then goes to many plants that manufacture the final end product for Collins, for Honeywell, but every part, every plane has a part that at some point went through Puerto Rico. That is something that you should definitely share and repeat. When we think about how this is possible, well, we have great logistics and connectivity advantages. And my colleague Norberto Negron already talked a little bit about this, but in the next slide I show you a little bit about what we have. 3 international airports. The Luis Muñoz Marin Airport, just to give you an example, which is our largest airport in Puerto Rico, has nonstop flights to 48 destinations in 14 countries, with airlines flying to and from San Juan. 90% of our cargo is pharma and medical devices. No doubt then that we are the #1 or #2 exporter, depending on the year, of pharmaceutical products in the United States. We have direct access to the East Coast, to Europe, to Latin America. Puerto Rico is, of course, a strategic location. Why is this possible in Puerto Rico? Why are companies choosing more so than our talent? Why are they choosing today to do their expansions in Puerto Rico vis-a-vis other states? Well, it is secure production in a U.S. territory, full federal regulatory framework, a compliant environment, strong IP protections, and no foreign export control risk, which is very important when companies choose where to operate and expand. So moving forward, I want to show you a point on 2 slides forward, please. As we move forward to the point here and the statehood dimension, Puerto Rico already contributes at scale. As I started my remarks, Puerto Rico is essential to the United States economy. Equal integration of Puerto Rico strengthens investment capacity and certainty. Political clarity enhances capital allocation decisions. And it is very important to mention that stability drives long-term industrial investment. Why Puerto Rico? Why now? Here's the alignment opportunity. And the next slide I show you 4 key points that I think are essential for you to share. Puerto Rico is a core pillar of U.S. pharmaceutical security. Number 2, Puerto Rico strengthens U.S. defense and aerospace supply chains. Number 3, there is reduced geopolitical risk with Puerto Rico being involved here, representing the United States in the Caribbean. Our strategic location in the Caribbean is very important to the United States. And 4, we are working together as a government to scale our existing infrastructure and to make sure it is ready to serve the military and serve the United States. That means and includes our ports, our dry docks, our airports, among others. Just so you know, as an example, we have a dry dock in the Roosevelt Roads facility that I think has been closed for more time than I've been alive. And the governor, together with the Roosevelt Roads Authority, which I preside, the Ports Authority, we are determined to make sure that we can use that dry dock as a key strategic asset for the United States. And we are working with the federal agencies to be able to do so. More so, there has been an RFP launched last year for space activity, and we are close to making an announcement as to what is the future of the space industry from Roosevelt Roads, so stay tuned. But making sure that we have and are using our assets to their fullest potential is also something that clearly positions us as an instrumental strategic assets for the United States. I'll leave you with the last slide, which is, don't forget our position in the map. Central, key, connector, close to everything. Connecting the United States, the Caribbean, Latin America. Puerto Rico is truly essential to the US economy. And my suggestion to you is that you use some of these important points, which I use every day in my job, promoting Puerto Rico as the premier destination to do business, which is we already have a fantastic foundation of contributions to the US economy. We just have to make sure that we are laser focused on sharing the facts. Sharing the facts that Puerto Rico is the #1 exporter of pharmaceutical products in the United States. That 5 of the 20 top drugs in the United States are made in Puerto Rico. That American hearts depend on what we manufacture on the island. And that is what you should sell to the senators and the representatives, because that is the truth about Puerto Rico and what Puerto Rico has to offer. The department is here as a resource whenever you need us. Feel free to contact me or my team so that we can share more information like this, which will hopefully be helpful as you make the rounds, the important rounds, to defend and implement the public policy of the government of Puerto Rico. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, señor secretario. Ahora vamos a pasar con la presentación de nuestro rol y el lugar en América, que va a estar dirigido por nuestro